We'll look at an increase in COVID-19 hospitalizations across the country as locally hospital workers begin receiving the Moderna vaccine. The family of a Parsons, Kansas hit-and-run victim searches for answers.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
COVID-19 has to date claimed more than 322,000 lives in the U.S. out of more than 18 million confirmed cases. But tonight, officials are warning that the pandemic is actually getting worse. Elise Preston has more.
Dr. Anthony Fauci on Tuesday became one of the first people to receive Moderna's new coronavirus vaccine. The infectious disease expert said he wanted to publicly demonstrate that it's safe.
I feel extreme confidence in the safety and the efficacy of this vaccine.
Dr. Fauci said he assumes a new, more easily transmitted coronavirus strain is already in the U.S. It's already spread across Britain, forcing much of the U.K. to lock down. The variant is believed to be up to 70% more infectious than the original.
My concern is that we're not near the peak and that this is going to continue.
Some hospitals in California are running out of room in their intensive care units.
It's been exponentially increasing since Thanksgiving. People in the community are going to keep gathering, and the numbers are going to keep going up.
Many seem undeterred by the public health crisis. With Christmas approaching, airports have been packed. More than 80 million Americans are expected to travel for the holidays.
If you're still out there shopping for your loved ones for this holiday season, or you're planning a holiday get-together, then you are missing the gravity of the situation.
President-elect Joe Biden says the situation remains grim, despite 2 vaccines getting approved.
Here's the simple truth. Our darkest days in the battle against COVID are ahead of us, not behind us.
The CDC says the U.S. will record over 3.2 million deaths in 2020. That will make it the deadliest year in the country's history. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
White House coronavirus task force member Dr. Deborah Birx today announced her retirement. The 64-year-old cited overwhelming strain on her family following a report that she traveled to a family gathering in Delaware over Thanksgiving weekend despite advising the public not to do that. President Trump tonight criticized the $900 billion pandemic relief package that was just passed by Congress. The president complained in a video that he tweeted out tonight that the bill delivered too much money to foreign countries but not enough to Americans. The president says he's asking Congress to amend the bill and increase the, quote, ridiculously low $600 to $2,000 or $4,000 for a couple. Freeman Health System receives its first shipment of Moderna COVID-19 vaccines. The hospital received 300 doses of the Moderna vaccine and started putting them to use today. They're prioritizing staff who come into close contact with patients in a clinical setting. The hospital gave shots from 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. today and had vaccinated 45 doctors, nurses, and other staff in the first half hour.
It's just hard to put into words just the significance of these moments and actually feeling like we really are fighting and going to get out of this COVID pandemic soon.
Employees who work with patients in a non-clinical setting will get the vaccine next. The Moderna vaccine, much like the Pfizer vaccine, requires 2 doses for full inoculation. Officials say the state has guaranteed those second doses will arrive before they're needed in 28 days. With COVID-19 vaccines, 2 of them now available, you might be wondering just how they differ. Both use messenger RNA or mRNA, but there are differences. First, the Pfizer vaccine was approved for use in people ages 16 and older. The Moderna vaccine is approved for people 18 and older, but the company is testing its vaccine for 12 to 17-year-olds. They've both been shown to be surprisingly effective. The Pfizer vaccine was shown to be 95% effective 7 days after the second dose was administered. The Moderna vaccine was 94.1% effective, starting 14 days after the second dose. They both require cold storage, but the Moderna vaccine will be easier to store. It must be shipped at -4 degrees Fahrenheit with the temperature of a standard freezer. The Pfizer vaccine, it has to be stored at -94 degrees Fahrenheit. Nowhere near that cold tonight. Let's check in with Doug Heddy for a first look at the weather.
No, it actually warmed up quite a bit for us today, pushing record highs. 67 was our afternoon high after a cold start, 33. But look at our average. It's 45, so we were 22 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. We do have some mid and upper level clouds which have been streaming through. It's not a big deal. These clouds will continue to thicken up, but our next system is moving into the western high plains, and this will start to affect us as we work into the daytime hours tomorrow. Out ahead of it, of course, it's very windy. We still have south winds at about 20 miles per hour. In fact, the winds have picked up just a little bit over the past couple hours. We're getting winds gusting 45 upwards to 50 to 55 miles per hour. So super windy. Temperatures still fairly warm. We're sitting into the mid 50s. We'll only drop back to 51, but our temperatures will actually drop during the afternoon tomorrow with a cold front. And we are going to see a few random showers. Of course, we're going to be looking at that all coming up here in just a little bit, and also at Christmas.
All right. Catch you then. Thanks, Doug. A young Parsons, Kansas man was hit by an unknown vehicle and left for dead on Saturday. Now his family is searching for answers as he begins the long road to recovery. 18-year-old Andrew Scott was the victim of a hit and run here on Southern Avenue near 35th Street around 2:30 in the morning. He managed to crawl into a ditch where he called for help for hours before he was discovered. He's currently being treated at Freeman Hospital, but it's going to be a while before Andrew can walk again. His family is asking for financial help to cover medical expenses and praying the driver responsible steps forward.
How could someone do that? Just hit somebody, whether you knew or not, and then you just leave them on the side of the road. Like that probably is the scariest thing that anyone could ever experience, is one, being completely injured, and two, being alone and thinking that you're not going to come out.
Police believe there could be people with knowledge of a suspect in this case. If you have any information regarding the case, please call the Parsons Police Department. For those who'd like to help Andrew's family with medical expenses and other costs, we've included a link to their GoFundMe page in this article on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. A crash on Murphy Boulevard in Joplin, just north of the Broadway Viaduct, kills a Carthage man. Police say 28-year-old Alvaros Rivas drove his car off the road, landing upside down in a creek. Rivas died at the scene. The initial investigation indicates the car hit multiple light poles before overturning and going into that creek. Still ahead, how the pandemic is taking a toll on pet owners. And with an uptick in online shopping, we're going to find out how U.S. delivery services are making sure your gifts arrive in time for Christmas.
Now.
The pandemic has affected all of us really in some way, but a lot of people might not realize it's also had an effect on the lives of animals. KOAM's Caitlin Shive spoke with the Joplin Humane Society to find out more.
The ASPCA released data in August that showed that more than 4.2 million pets in the U.S. were likely to end up in poverty in 6 months' time due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It's been 4 months since that data was released, and the Joplin Humane Society has seen some of those predictions come true.
Some of the things that we may not think about with the pandemic is the way that it's affecting the animals in our lives. There are cases where families have become very ill and not been able to care for their animals, or they're having a hard time due to loss of jobs and things like that from the COVID pandemic, making it so they have to come up with another option for their pets.
While fortunately they have not encountered a ton of animals being given up to them, a handful of pets have been surrendered to their care.
We've had a couple come in that have definitely come from some situations that are heartbreaking, but we're here to help. We're here to help these animals get into new homes.
One of the surrenders is Aiden, a shepherd mix whose family was financially strained from the pandemic and could not take care of him any longer.
Aiden is a great dog. Aiden got brought in due to a financial situation, and he was a little shy, definitely a little nervous about being here, and we've had some absolutely amazing volunteers working with Aiden to bring him out of his shell and to really let him shine.
And the Humane Society is doing what they can to provide resources for families who may be in similar situations.
Encourage anybody who's having to contemplate rehoming their animal to give us a call. We can definitely give them some options and go over some different scenarios of things that they can do in order to make that the best decision, not only for the pet, but for the family as well.
In Joplin, Caitlin Shive, KOAM News.
Some great animals available. The Humane Society also has a food pantry and low-cost spay and neuter resources, so people are less likely to surrender pets due to financial reasons. Less than 3 days remain until we open those Christmas presents, but the ones that Santa doesn't bring, well, they have to come through more conventional means, like, say, the U.S. Postal Service. Demand for shipping this holiday season has been record-setting, according to the agency. Officials with the Postal Service say some packages are being mailed twice, once when you order it and then again when you send it to the person who's actually getting it. Despite the increased demand, the Postal Service says they are keeping pace.
A lot of folks are working from home, we're teaching the kids from home, things like that. So a lot of online shipping. A lot of folks won't be traveling this year, so they'll be mailing those very same packages that they ordered for themselves to their loved ones as well.
While many holiday shipping deadlines have passed, there are still a few options left to get Christmas packages delivered in time. We've put a link with delivery deadlines on our website. Again, KOAMnewsnow.com. The Precious Moments Chapel in Carthage, Missouri is selling a piece of its history, parts of the Precious Moments Fountain of Angels. The fountain was created by Samuel J. Butcher himself in 1997 and includes 120 Precious Moments angels, as well as some fish, turtles, snails, and geese, which were later bronzed. Some of those bronzes are now up for sale. That sale ends on December 31st. Doug Heddy is up next with his complete forecast. And a little bit later on KOAM News at 10, the Riverton boys look to keep their undefeated record alive against Pittsburgh. We'll have highlights in sports.
Call
Well, it definitely turned out to be a beautiful day for us today. Temperatures fantastic, approaching record highs as we went all the way up into the upper 60s during the afternoon. The record high was 71. We went to 67 for us today, 22 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. Fantastic time lapse, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort just outside of Seneca, Missouri. You can see those mid and upper level clouds streaming through, but in general, it turned out to be pretty good. Big changes moving in. Could get a few showers in the morning, but turning much colder the next couple days. We also have additional storm systems, one on Sunday, one on Wednesday. You can always get my long range forecast, just posting an updated one on my month-long blog. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Look at our temps. We're still into the mid-50s across the region. South winds kicking in. In fact, the winds have increased a bit over the past couple hours ahead of this next storm system. These are sustained winds at about 20 to 25 miles per hour. But check out some of these wind gusts over the past couple hours. We were getting gusts into the 40s. Now we're getting winds gusting into the 50s. We've had a 58 mile per hour wind gust, Yates Center, Chanute, 55 Indy, 55 in Parsons, 53 in Pittsburgh. So the winds are increasing, so super windy for us tonight. You can see in the corner of the screen, the flag at the station is really whipping in the wind. 55 south winds sustained at 22, humidity is at 59%. We've had these mid and upper level clouds kind of streaming through, but these are going to continue to thicken up later on tonight as our main storm system kind of whips out of the northern parts of the plains, and then we'll start to push in. Already some rain, even a little bit of snow up across the northern parts of Nebraska and then into the Dakotas. And that's where most of the moisture is going to stay, but we are going to get a few light little showers and sprinkles developing here late tonight into tomorrow morning. Here's 5 a.m. You can see a few showers trying to get going, especially along and south of I-44, and then on the Missouri side. Really not much of anything on the Kansas side. Also, Oklahoma, you should get a few sprinkles as well. And then all this will roll off toward the east. But with it, a cold front whips through. So we're going to be into the 50s, but we're going to drop during the afternoon into the 40s. May even get a few flurries late tomorrow evening. So we'll watch that. Not a big deal, though. 51 to start. We'll probably warm to about 55 and then start dropping into the 40s during the afternoon. Plus, it's still going to be windy. We're going to have those northerly winds at about 15 to 25, gusts higher than that. Cold tomorrow night, we drop into lower 20s. And then on Thursday, we rebound only into low to mid 30s. Even though we're going to have sunshine, we're just not going to warm up much. Now, Christmas Day looks pretty good. Next little week system rolls in with some showers on Sunday, but temperatures are going to rebound just in time for the weekend. 55 and dropping tomorrow, Christmas Eve, if you do have plans, of course, on the 24th. During the evening hours, temperature is going to be dropping back all the way down into lower 20s. Great evening to stay in with your family, make some cookies. I know Santa usually likes that, even a glass of milk as well. And then Christmas Day, 44, mostly sunny.
Yeah, it's going to be kind of cold, but as you say, pretty pleasant overall and kind of what we should expect for Christmas, I guess.
Yep, another brown Christmas.
Yeah, thanks, Doug. And next time we get a break from the cold, you might decide to get out and go for a walk. If you want to add an extra mile to that walk, add a fitness tracker to your accessories. That's what a study says. Researchers looked at dozens of studies comparing the exercise activity of about 7,500 people with and without a tracking device or a phone app. Overall, people walked an average of nearly 2,000 more steps, or about a mile if they used a tracking app. The study authors say doctors might want to consider prescribing such apps and trackers for patients looking to get into better shape. The study was published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine. Still ahead, the Webb City boys welcome in Crane, and we have the highlights. And a Pittsburgh football standout finds success on the mat.
The Riverton boys are off to a hot start this basketball season. The Rams are 4-0 to start the year, including a win over Columbus in their CNC opener last Friday. Now tonight, Riverton hits the road to Pittsburgh. This one, home opener for the Purple Dragons. First quarter. Look at the finish from Jamie Richardson. Other end, Elijah Thornton, corner three. Dragons up 7 after the first. Second quarter now. Kid's a freshman, Mason English, knocking down a couple threes. Pittsburgh increases their lead to 9 at half. The third quarter, here comes Riverton. Isaac Welch hits a pair of threes in the quarter. Riverton back to within 2 going to the fourth. But this night, all about Javon Grant. He needed 34 to get to 1,000 career points. And that bucket right there gets him there. Grant, huge night. Got to 1,000 career points. And the dude dropped 41. Pittsburgh wins tonight 74-66. The Webb City boys also at home tonight. They're on the floor against Crane. They got off to a hot start. Cole Vaden, all money there. Webb up 2. Then Nikai Howard knocks down the pull-up. 8-4 Webb City early in the first. Later on in the quarter, Luke Brummett getting up for the jam off the steal. Webb City up 13 after 1. Second quarter now, inbound pass goes to Vaden. He will knock down the open 3. Cards lead by 12. Then later in the quarter, let's get one more from Vaden. He was on fire tonight. Scores a team high 28. Cardinals go to break with a win 81-55. Pittsburgh High School junior Caden Barber is a standout on the football field. But last week, he had an unexpected chance to show what he could do in a different sport.
Caden Barber joined the Pittsburgh wrestling team about 2 weeks ago. He joined as a way to stay conditioned for football with no intention of actually competing.
Wrestling conditioning is a good way to condition, and wrestling and football mixed together is a good type of conditioning.
He came in the room just kind of using wrestling to get better for football, and that was our plan.
That plan changed last week.
I think I told him on Tuesday or Wednesday, hey, we need you to wrestle, and he wrestled on Saturday.
On just 3 days' notice, head coach L.C. Davis asked Barber to step in and compete for the Dragons last Saturday in a tournament in Columbus.
He said, yes, sir, what do you need me to do? And he made the weight, which is hard.
He said he had an opening for me because one of our players got injured, so I had to cut a couple pounds, and then I made the weight, and I went with them.
Barber went 2-2 on Saturday with 1 pin in his debut.
He shined when the lights came on, and he was better than expected.
After getting a taste of the action, Barber is now ready for more.
I want to keep doing tournaments and just keep getting better, and it's not really a matter of the wins or losses, just me getting better as an athlete.
Davis is hoping Barber's story becomes a trend.
We're a 5A school. We're the only 5A school in this area, and in order for us to compete with those Kansas City and Wichita schools, we have to have have our best athletes out here on the mat. And Caden Barber is one of the best athletes in our school. Matt Smith, another football player, joined the team last year. And if we keep getting these football players out in the wrestling room helping our wrestling team, then we can compete with those bigger schools.
Barber's goal will always be playing football at the next level, but until fall arrives, he's found a new home for the winter.
I want to go D1 somewhere. I think LC, being the good coach he is, the experience he has will get me there.
And I think he could be a two-sport all-state athlete. We're really glad to have him in the room. We're going to try to take our time with him, but he's such a great athlete. I think he can help this team a lot, so we'll definitely plan on wrestling him some more.
Pittsburgh will be back in action after the holiday break with a road duel at Columbus on January 8th. And that's a look at sports. We're back with more news after the break.
Stop by your
Take time now to honor a local veteran, Staff Sergeant Jesse Collins. The Joplin native served in the U.S. Army, and we are proud to salute Staff Sergeant Jesse Collins. He's tonight's four-state hero. High for the holidays. Cannabis sales ahead of Christmas and New Year's are expected to surge this year. That's according to research from enterprise software company Akerna. The company believes that pre-Christmas cannabis sales will generate $400 million in this week leading up to Christmas Eve. Don't know if Santa will deliver that, but some people will. Let's check back in with Doug.
All right, Dow, it looks like for us tonight, the clouds will increase. It's still going to stay super windy. We're going to have winds gusting at times over 50 miles per hour. A few random showers, maybe a few sprinkles late tonight into tomorrow morning. And then temperatures drop into the 40s by tomorrow afternoon, and then turning much colder just in time for Christmas Eve.
See you tomorrow. Let's take care of ourselves and each other.
If you see news happening,